Junior Achievement is a national nonprofit organization whose mission is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. JA, or Junior Achievement, provides volunteer-led curriculum to schools to teach about work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. And my husband and my granddaughter will be proud that I said that word. I think I said it properly, because I used to not be able to say it. Anyway, Amanda Arnett recently graduated from Purdue with a degree in history. And while at Purdue, she studied dance and was a baton twirler for the Purdue All-American Marching Band. She began working with Junior Achievement in February of just this year as the program manager of Greater Lafayette. Her position oversees all classes in the Lafayette area and in Benton County. Amanda got married in October. Your bio says September of this year, and she has settled down in Lafayette with her newlywed husband. She is excited about her work with Junior Achievement because it gives her a chance to inspire and make a difference in young students' lives. So please help me welcome Amanda.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me here today. And so before today, just from a show of hands, who has heard of Junior Achievement before? Okay, awesome. That's wonderful to hear. And so our mission is to prepare and inspire young people to succeed in a global economy. And how we do that is through offering our in-school programs. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the programs we offer and then some exciting new programs that we'll be able to offer here in the fall of 2018. So I'm going to read you a statement, and then if you think that this statement is true, raise your hand. So, over 80% of Americans create household budgets. If you think that statement is true, raise your hand. 80% of Americans. Okay, so actually it is true. According to a recent study by Bankrate.com, 82% of Americans create a budget. But what I did not tell you is that over half of those people who create a budget, they say that creating a budget is keeping track in their heads or by scribbling it down on scrap paper.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I thought.
yes, so a lot of you were correct in thinking that it wouldn't be true. And so I want to tell you a little bit about why our mission is important to me. I grew up in an upper middle class household here in Greater Lafayette. I had two parents. Obviously, as an only child, I did not have any siblings or anything, so it was just me and my two parents. And they, they had good income, and I never really saw them struggle. But that all changed in high school when my parents got a divorce and my father moved far away to Texas. And I was lucky if I saw him once a year. And so I was involved in dance and baton twirling and all of these things, and my mom had to take up multiple jobs to help support that. And it wasn't until recently that I got married and realized how much she really did. So my fiance, or I always say my fiance, but I have to get used to saying my husband and I are now on our own, and we are learning how to create our own budget and plan for our futures. And it's just amazing how much things cost these days. And so I see now how much my mom really put in, just to provide the lifestyle that I had been used to living, and so I didn't have to quit baton twirling and things like that. And so that's why our mission is so important to me, and that's why I love what I do, because a lot of times students don't know the basic financial literacy things. I mean, I went into a classroom on Monday and asked a middle school classroom what the difference between a debit and a credit card is. And they didn't know. I had to teach them that. So there are a lot of little things like that that they just don't always learn. Their parents might not think to teach it to them. And so that is what we do with JA. And so you can see from my own story and from the statistics on the screen as well, that there is a need in our community to inspire and educate students about succeeding in school, planning their futures, and thinking about financial planning for their futures as well. So Junior Achievement focuses on 3 content areas or 3 pillars. Those 3 pillars are work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. And so Junior Achievement believes that these concepts are crucial to providing young people with the ability to take advantage of opportunities that are available to them in order to create a better lifestyle for themselves and their communities. And so here in the greater Lafayette area, we provide different programs for kindergarteners all the way up to seniors in high school. And every program at each grade level is directly tied to the state teaching standards in Indiana. And then also, a lot of our programs, they used to be offered after school. And so one of the great things about our recent accomplishments is that now all of our programs are offered during school hours in the classroom. And so all of this curriculum that may have been missed by students in the past who would have been involved in other sports, so they couldn't stay after for JA because they had basketball. Now that reaches every student. So we're very fortunate to have that new addition. And then also, everything is really hands-on and volunteer-led. So when a community member goes into a classroom to work with the students, the activities involve games and different group things so that all of the students are really working together and learning in a hands-on and engaging way. And then on top of that, they also have their community member who can act as sort of a mentor to talk to them about real-life experience that they may have had. So here in the Lafayette area, last year we served over 10,000 students, and we had 477 classrooms, and we are well on track to beat that this year. So we will have nearly 500 by the end of this school year. And so this year, by reaching even more students, we've sort of become a hub here in the Lafayette area for our surrounding counties. And then with our hub, we are kind of partnered with our Fort Wayne area, and that is called Junior Achievement of Northern Indiana. And so Junior Achievement of Northern Indiana is one of 120 areas in the United States. So you can imagine JAUSA throughout the whole country reaches a lot of students. And then a lot of people don't know that we are also international. So we are also in many other countries throughout the world. Here in Lafayette, our area, out of the 120 areas, is ranked number 7 in the amount of students that we reach in classrooms. So we are just, just below like the big areas like Houston, Texas, and Chicago. So we are very proud of the classes that we offer here. So now that I've told you a little bit about what we already offer, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what is next for Junior Achievement. So how many of you have seen this new building that's going up?
You see this?
Yes, it's right by Buffalo Wild Wings and Menards. Great. So we are part of Intersection Connection. So we are partnering with the YMCA, Ivy Tech, Franciscan St. Elizabeth Health, and IU. We will all be housed in this facility. So it's right over there by Ivy Tech campus. And inside of this facility, we will offer JA BizTown and JA Finance Park. Have any of you heard of those before? Some maybe not. Okay. And so what JA BizTown is it's actually a simulation for students that will take field trips to our facility, and they will become a part of a simulated town, a simulated economy. Okay, and so we will have about 16 different storefronts. We will have a restaurant, we'll have a bank, we will have a supply store, and the students will interview for what job they want. We might have a CEO, a CFO, general employees. The students will even elect a mayor. And they will live out their role throughout the day, and then they will get paid with a paycheck. Then they can go and buy what they want with that paycheck to stimulate the economy. They can go to college and take a class and then get a pay raise. So there are a lot of different things that go into this. And so when they walk in, the awesome thing is that it's actually going to look like Greater Lafayette when they walk in. All of the storefronts will be sponsored by businesses that we have here. So when you walk in, it'll look like our own community. The students might go to Purdue Federal Credit Union to cash their check. They can take classes at Purdue University. They can work at Caterpillar or Wabash National. So it's going to be really, really cool for them. And I have some pictures of our Fort Wayne JA BizTown. And so this can kind of give you an idea of what it may look like here in Lafayette once it's done. The Broadcast Center is one of my favorites. The students actually create a news broadcast with real technology, and it will be shown throughout the building. They actually make food if they work at the restaurant, and students can go and buy real food made by other students. I'm not sure if that's a scary thought or not. And then also, for older students, we'll have JA Finance Park. And so this program will be housed in the same facility. It is another simulation. And as for our older students, more upper, middle, or high school level, and the students will walk in the door and they'll be handed a life situation. And so it might say that they are married, maybe they have kids. It'll tell them how much money they have in their savings account. It will tell them what their credit score is, what their education level is. Do they have any debt from student loans or cars that they might have purchased, things like that. And then they have to live out their life according to that scenario that they were given. And so they will have a budget that they'll have to create. If they want to purchase a house, they'll have to actually go apply to have a loan for a house or even a car, and they may be denied if they don't have a good credit score. So these, again, are all real-life situations that these students may not have a clue. And I was fortunate enough to actually hear a speaker from our Fort Wayne office last night who was talking about their finance park. And one of the things she said was that when the students leave, the first thing they do is go home and hug their parents and say, I am so sorry that you have to do all of this. Because they start to really understand what it's like to be an adult. And so our timeline for the facility would be for it to open in fall of 2018. We're hoping for November, so around this time next year. And what year one will look like is we will have some Tippecanoe County School Corporation and Lafayette School Corporation schools who we're partnering with that will come and sort of test out the facility. We will serve approximately 3,000 students that first year. And then we will be able to offer the program to all of our surrounding counties as well. So we hope within the next few years that students will be coming from all over to visit this facility. So we're really excited that we get to offer this here in our own community. And so how could you be involved? If something interests you about junior achievement, you could always be a classroom volunteer. Later next fall, we'll need people that would want to help out in the different storefronts in JA BizTown and Finance Park. So there are a lot of different opportunities. And then if you know someone who would be a great classroom volunteer, always feel free to refer people to us. When we have volunteers in the community, they can choose between a standard delivery or a JA in a day. And what the difference is a standard delivery is a weekly session. So the volunteer would go in and work with their own classroom and their own students once a week. And then the JA in a day delivery is just one day, and they'll spend that whole classroom day with those students. Junior Achievement provides orientation, online videos, training, and then all of the materials. So volunteers get a full bag of different workbooks and games and things like that that they can take with them. And so we talked a little bit about the standard delivery method and how that works. We have programs in elementary, middle, and high school here in Lafayette, as well as JA in a day. And I forgot to mention that JA in a day volunteers get free lunch, so that is a plus. And so I'm often asked, why JA? So our young people face the challenge of preparing to compete in an increasingly global economy, and they need our help. From my own personal experience and from the experience of other people my age that I know, we didn't know a lot of this information. I was never taught how to create a budget, and I know a lot of my friends hadn't either. And so, again, that's why I'm inspired to help our younger students and bring up the conversation of financial literacy, because a lot of times it's something that we think is kind of taboo and we don't want to talk about, but it really does help prepare them for when they're thrown into these situations after graduating college or even high school. And so throughout the process of junior achievement, students are connecting classroom learning to the real world, which is allowing them to recognize the value of staying in school, which will also increase the likelihood that they will graduate. And so I would like to show you guys a video. That's your cue.
Let's see if that can work out, buddy.
All right, so does anyone have any questions about JA, our mission, or the new facility? Yes.
I have a curiosity question.
Sure.
How many in here have been a volunteer for JA instruction?
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you. Great. Do any of you have any stories from your experience with
That we're allowed
JA
to tell?
that you want to tell?
I have one.
Sure.
I'll need that, people cannot hear me. Rodney, in cleaning out a room this weekend, he found a plaque when Rodney volunteered way back in 75, 76, and he got this participation plaque. But he told me to share, this worked right in with what you're saying, that when he did this in 75, 76, they made $7,000 to $9,000. And one boy in the program earned over $100, and he got it all in $1 bills. Well, when he was paid in $1 bills. And for a child back then, especially to get that stack of dollar bills, it was a lot of money. And
That's awesome. Yeah. And yeah, another one back there.
How do you integrate this into the classroom when they're so busy with core studies and testing? For instance, in grade school, I saw Miller Elementary up there. What grade level are you doing that, and how do you do it?
Sure. So we do every grade level we have curriculum for. It would be up to the principal what specific grade level at that school they would want. So for Miller Elementary, for example, I would have to look at my program report. I have almost 500 classes, so I can't think off the top of my head what grade level we have there. But as far as looking into how busy teachers are and how we can fit it into their schedule, since we incorporate everything in our programs and align them with the state standards, it really helps reinforce what teachers are already focusing on in their classrooms that's already required. And then we add more of the financial literacy and work readiness and entrepreneurship concepts to it, so that we're not only targeting what is required in the classroom, but then also these other topics as well. Any other questions? Yeah.
Just a little bit of a comment. I've done about 3 different classrooms, and I'm gonna say the participation of the teacher in that classroom is significant. The ones that actually, you're really partnering with that classroom teacher, and that makes a great program. I've had one experience where the teacher's idea was sit at her desk and do her work. Well, I did everything relative to the program, including try to keep the kids in line. That was less successful than if she had participated in some classroom management. I'm not a classroom teacher, but it was, I think a lot depends on the teacher you're partnered with. And they buy into this hook, line, and sinker. And they can make it part of their curriculum that they're trying to teach anyway. So it is very well integrated with what goes on with the classroom.
What grade level did you work with?
3rd?
All day or just?
No. I did all of mine had been the basically an hour a week for 5 weeks. And it says 35 to 45 minutes. You really got to be a little bit creative to get everything done in 45 minutes they want you to do. But that's part of it. They give you a program, and you can kind of tweak that a little bit to what you think is going to work in that specific situation, again, in working with the teacher to do that.
Yeah, I like how you pointed out that it does depend on the type of classroom that you're in as well, because a lot of times you may be in a classroom that has a lot more lower income families. And I was in a classroom, it was also 3rd grade as well, and the teacher told me ahead of time that a lot of these students, they're used to paying with food stamps and things like that. And so she was a wonderful partner and actually helped me delivering it in a way that made sense to those kids. And then other times I'll be in a classroom where the students are far, far more advanced than what I'm giving them. And they're like, oh, I already know this. And so we're able to tweak it as well to go more in depth into that topic. So a lot of it is also, your own personal take on it.
One of the Kiwanis clubs in either Greenfield or Greenwood does a program somewhat similar to have, today, you walk in and you get the card that says, hey, you didn't finish high school and now you got, and I always thought that was such a great idea. It's nice to know that there's somebody doing that here.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see you've advanced quite a bit in the 58 years ago that I was a volunteer. We just had high school kids come in at night, every night for quite a while, and we worked with them for a long time and enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I have a lot of people who have stories about that. In fact, in our office, we even have some old chairs and things that they used to make in their after-school program. So it's really great to see how far it's come and how it's actually become implemented during the school day. Yes.
I just want to let you know that in the intersection connection, outside the junior achievement area, in the area that would be a public park, there's a public interest and service agency that's been involved, and it's the Kiwanis Club. There's going to be a Kiwanis corner right outside on the first floor
That's
of the building.
That's so awesome.
So you'll see Kiwanians wandering about.
All right. So you guys will be wandering around by my office, because my office is right up front over there. Okay, yeah.
How are your programs supported? What's the source of income that?
Sure. So we do a lot of fundraising, and then we also have corporate sponsors, and then fundraising. So we're always looking for new partnerships and things like that. But we set our budget at the beginning of the year based off the previous year and how much we think we can fundraise, and then that sets the amount of classes that we can offer that year. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure being here, and I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Amanda. This is great, and as a token of appreciation for your coming, we have a small token. This has been great, and some of you have worked in JA in the past, and when Rodney did it, we still have some belt buckles that these students made and some clothes hangers that they made that we still have at our house. So they've been in different places in the state, moving around with us. So thank you again.